Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Love Fruit podcast. And today I am joined by Raw Vegan from Sweden. That's Victoria Vesterlund. And Victoria has made a great breakthrough with her blog and YouTube channel, RawVegan.se. And she is a trained raw life educator, a health educator, raw food chef, health and lifestyle therapist, former elite athlete and model. And in recent years, she's read a lot about nutrition, raw foods, superfoods, and other information. And you can follow her on Instagram and on YouTube and other places, RawVegan.se. So, Victoria, is there anything more you would like to tell us about yourself as an introduction?
I think you got a really good introduction about myself, so thank you for that. I love to create new recipes, and I am a raw food chef, and I have made 2 paper books and 6 ebooks also. So I have like over thousands recipes, seriously, if you like see them all. So yeah, I really love to create new recipes, and I'm very passionate about the raw food. Yeah, the raw food lifestyle and the flavors and the textures and how you can create new things with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess you didn't grow up on a raw food diet.
Excuse me.
I'm gonna guess that you did not grow up on a raw food diet growing up in Sweden.
Yes, that's true. I have grown up with regular Swedish kind of classic food, like meatballs, potatoes. I mean, it's like kind of real food. Not so much like fried foods and so on, but it's still like yeah, it's just not so healthy. So yeah, I changed my diet for about 10 years ago, or something like that. Yeah.
And growing up on that, in the normal kind of Swedish diet, did you experience any challenges, any health challenges or problems?
Yes, I did. I had lots of problems when I was younger, especially when I was a teenager. Problem with my gut, and problem with acne, and problem with nutrition deficiencies, and also low immunity. That have been my biggest problems also. And then I worked out a lot, so I had lots of injuries and inflammations, and I was really stiff in my body. So yeah, that was it.
And what was it that made you start to look at your diet and lifestyle and start to make changes?
I start to make changes when I start to feel like everything got just worse because I was sick so often, and I felt that I have to do something, and I have tried different things through the years, and the raw food was the thing that actually helped. And now, so about 9 years later, with with eating raw food, it still feels very good in my body. So I just keep doing it instead of like trying different things and it doesn't work. And yeah, this works. Yeah.
When was the first time you started to make a change to your diet?
I have actually tried making different changes. I mean, in my upper teenager, like 17 or 18, and but it was like trying different stuff. Like I took away milk, and I started to eat more soy products instead of other things, and I have like start to experiment a little bit, and I noticed some different here and there, some to the better side and some to the bad side, and then I tried different new things all the time, but I couldn't really find something that really worked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And was it a gradual process towards a raw vegan diet, or did you kind of find out about that quite early on?
It was kind of a progress. I mean, I started to eat more fruit and vegetables and start to feel better. And then the more I ate, the better I felt. So then I just continue doing it. And but I wasn't like 100% in the first time. I was like eating something else when I was out, and so on. So and also through the years it was like I start to eat vegetarian, and then I was vegan with like cheese, and but I never was actually fully vegan before I went raw food. I was more like vegan with cheese,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started to eat raw food, and I still ate some raw cheeses here and there because I really like goat cheese and so on, and pecorino, and they are actually raw. But then when I took away the cheeses, I start to feel a clarity in my brain and in my mood and also in my energy. So that was really huge.
What was your first exposure to a vegan or raw vegan diet? What was the information you came across?
It was on a restaurant actually, when I was in a restaurant, a high gourmet restaurant, and it was just I wanted to eat something delicious, and yeah, so I ordered a raw food meal, and I really liked it, and because I have like a huge interest for food and yeah, making food, and the thing that I was the most interested in um, was actually the creativity and the colorful and all the stuff. So that made me more interested in raw food because it was so colorful and you can go so creative with it. And yeah, so that was actually so I just started to make more raw food because I really love to make like food and so on, but I didn't like the messiness, and yeah, when you're cooking, it's like lots of disgusting dishes and so on. So raw food is just so fresh. So yeah, so I felt like okay, this is my way to make food because I can really make beautiful things and use my creativity in it also.
So were you always attracted towards the making of the food and the food preparation?
Yes, the preparation was really interesting, and also the taste. It was so good. So the flavor you can get with raw foods is not close to what you can get with cooked food. For example, you can use a dehydrator to make cooked food, but it will taste so much more. I actually have a recipe of a raw vegan pizza. That is a great example because I tried to make this pizza. The recipe is a buckwheat crust with lots of vegetables and then herbs. So I tried to actually bake this in the oven once in a while, and it tastes like nothing. I
Yeah.
mean, of course, it has some flavor to it, but not close to what it actually does if you have it in a dehydrator at 42 degrees. So that was huge because when as soon as you heat something, the flavor destroys, the nutrients destroyed, and also the color. So you want to add more spices, you want to add salt, and so on. So that is what I noticed with the pizza, for example. That wow,
Yeah.
it tastes fantastic without salt, and you don't need so much like spices and so on because it's actually really delicious.
And usually raw food restaurants serve sort of raw gourmet food, quite high fat
Yeah.
and a lot of nuts and seeds, oil and salt and things like that. Was that how you started off? Was that what you started off experimenting with?
Yes, I did, and I felt very good with eating raw gourmet and this kind of food. But it wasn't that my body completely healed. I still have some bloatiness in my gut, and I also have some type of not acne, but my skin was way better, but it wasn't like so good that I wanted to be. So when it actually got better, it was when I did like a melon island for a whole summer, and it was not actually a melon island. It was more that I worked on a place where I could get free melons. So I just ate so much melons. And I also read the 80-10-10 diet. So it just felt so good for me. So when I did that, it was like my skin just cleared out and my gut problems was just away. But then 80-10-10 diet was a little bit extreme. It doesn't work here in Sweden, I noticed. So yeah, so a little bit mixed of the raw gourmet and 80-10-10 is kind of the style I like.
And did you did you kind of figure it out yourself, or were you learning from other people?
I listen a lot of other people, but then I come to the end that the only person I should listen on is myself. Because that is what actually work when you listen on yourself, what you feel good to eat. So that's what I did, and like only eating fruit, only eating sweet fruit, it doesn't work that well. But eating like lots of fruit in my diet and still have some nuts and seeds and raw gourmet stuff, that really works. And I think that the most important thing is that you get good hydration and you eat fresh food, so you don't eat too much dehydrated food. So your base is always like fresh food and enzyme rich food and not food like sitting too long. And sprouts is really really healthy, I've noticed. And and seaweeds also, I love seaweeds.
And what would be a typical day for you?
Oh, it depends so much on the season actually, because different season we have different food to choose between. But I like to start my day very like juicy. So if I have cucumber juice or coconut water, I love the coconut water powder. You can get freeze-dried, so I mix that with water. That is fantastic. Or just drinking lots of water in the morning if I don't have this or that. And then after that I eat breakfast. And breakfast is juicy and is fruit. I love to start my day with juicy fruit, and it depends on the season. Right now, today, for example, I had a fantastic piece of piel de sapo melon for breakfast, and then I had some persimmons and apples, and I also add some sprouts actually. Sometimes I just grab a sprout in the morning, or I have some bee pollen or chlorella or spirulina, because I feel like eating something that have a little bit more protein than only eating fruit is very good for me. That keeps me full longer, more satisfied, and more I have more power in my body, in my muscles if I work out. So I usually start my day very low fat, and some often actually no fat at all. And then for lunch, it's very different. Sometimes I just like to eat a raw food cake with some vegetables at the side. It sounds weird, but I actually feel very good by doing that. And sometimes I eat a big salad, and sometimes I make a soup, and different kind of or maybe noodles. I love zucchini noodles if that's in season. And sprouts, of course. And for dinner, I tend to eat a little bit more heavy, some nuts and seeds, and or avocado or something else. Or like I like to eat burger, pizza, and more comforting food.
On your journey to your diet, did you make any particular mistakes that you remember?
I mean, I would say it's a mistake to not listen on yourself so much, listen on other people. Some people say like, you should eat this, and you should eat like low fat, you should eat high fat, you should eat lots of that ingredients, and so on. That is a mistake I made, because that if I listen too much on what experts and gurus say, I don't listen on myself so much. So that is kind of a mistake, I think. And also when I started this lifestyle, I ate too much gourmet stuff and not so much fresh food, and not so much fruit. And that is also a mistake, I think. Fruit is very important, and especially if you work out a lot, to get the carbohydrates. I ate lots of buckwheat, for example, to get the carbohydrates, because you was said that fruit is bad, it's too much sugar. So I believed in that, and that is not true at all. Fruit is really, really important. So when I started to incorporate more fruit in my diet, I also felt so much more better, because fruit doesn't need so much digestion like grains and so on does. So I still eat lots of buckwheat, of course, but I still don't. I still like eating lots of fruit now. So
Yeah.
so yeah. So a kind of mix. I mean, you need sprouts, you need fruit, you need vegetables, you need a little bit mix of everything. So excluding a food group is really bad, I noticed.
How did you find the transition to a raw diet? Did you struggle with cravings for other foods?
I actually don't remember that I have had so much cravings for other foods, because yeah, I wasn't like 100% raw at the beginning. So if I wanted something, I ate something I wanted. But yeah, sometimes I kind of like crave not cooked food, but something that is warm.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I can solve the problem easy by putting it in the dehydrator, or sometimes I actually put it on the pot and you stir it with my finger. So I like to make golden milk, for example. So I make that in a pot and then I stir it with my finger. And when I start to like it start to burning a little bit, okay, I know that I should stop and just drink it.
Were you able to meet other people in Sweden that were on the same path as you?
Yes, we have some people here. I know some people that eat raw food. I don't know so many people that are like 100% raw food, but I know people that are very interested in raw food and very interested in health and eat lots of raw food. And yeah, so some people here and there, absolutely, yeah.
And were there any potlucks or any events that you could attend?
Yes, we have sometimes. It is actually a little group here in Sweden where we meet each other and have potlucks. It was a long time ago now, but yeah, absolutely, but not so often.
Did you ever get to any of the fruit festivals?
Yes, I was in the fruit festival in Denmark in Copenhagen, and yeah, that was a lot of fun and to meet other people, to eat delicious fruit, and just have fun.
And when did you start sharing this information online and developing an audience? And how did that all start?
I started with my blog RawVegan.se, because my start with this lifestyle was actually to create lots of recipes because yeah, I am a chef and I love to create recipes. So of course, when I got interested in this, I just created so much raw food stuff, and I didn't know what to do with all the recipes. So yeah, so I was just okay. I had to start a blog with it. So that's what I did. So I put the recipes on a blog, and then sooner Instagram and YouTube got popular. I was a little bit too shy for YouTube, but I did Instagram, and then I started to make YouTube. I wasn't actually too shy for YouTube. It was more that I wasn't sure about my English, and and I wasn't so good at English actually when I started this lifestyle. And but then I ended up with one YouTube channel in English and one YouTube channel in Swedish also.
And what's inspired you to do that?
I don't remember actually. It was more that I thought it was very fun, and I watched just lots of YouTube videos about this lifestyle, and it seems like the people that was on YouTube they had lots of fun when they did the videos, and so I felt like, oh yeah, this would be really fun to make, and yeah, I love to be behind and in front of the camera. You know, I worked as a model, and that is something you do all the time. You are in front of the camera, but this was very different because yeah, you talk about health and raw food. It's not like you are quiet and modeling, or you're like do different commercials because you are yourself. When I am a model, I am someone else. So that was a little bit scary to be myself instead of being like an actor, so to say.
Yeah, yeah. So you have written a number of books, a lot of recipes you've created. Could you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about how you do that and how you go about developing your recipes and so on?
Yes, my first book, I was like my first paper book. It was 2018, I think, but I started to make it, a year before that, or actually earlier because, I've created so much recipes. But when I felt like, okay, I have to put this in a book. I wasn't sure how to do it actually. So I heard that you can have different publisher, but I didn't know how to search for it really. So then I saw I was where you can like order books. You can make books and then you can order and they can print it out. So so I actually did that. I just made the whole book myself. I took all the photograph and I did everything on Word, and I sent it in and they printed out, and I was really happy about it. So I was just okay, I start to sell this, and then I ordered like many copies of it and start to sell it on my website. And then I start to contact other companies and see if they want to sell my book also. And some did, and that was really fun. And then when I made my next book, I wanted to try to go through a publisher, and I also wanted to try to have a photographer. So that's what I did with my second book, No This Raw Food. And because it's fun to try different ways to do the book. And so now I try the both, my own company, and then also I have done it through a publisher. And my ebooks that I also have in English, they that was just I don't know how I actually started with making ebooks, but it was just so much simpler. So, and I have so much recipes, so I just have to create it, and I want to share more recipes. Good recipes is meant to be shared, not to like have in my own little little notebook. So so I want to spread my recipes, and ebooks is fantastic way to do it. It's more fast and so much easier. And when I create recipes, I don't plan them so much. It's actually come naturally for me often of the time. I say I will make lunch or dinner, and I open the fridge and see what I have and see what's available outside also and in season. And then I just start to combine different things, and I am not afraid to combine weird stuff together, like tomatoes and chocolate. Okay, one. Or
You also did some banana salads or something, or banana salad dressings.
Oh yeah, I had that for lunch actually. That is one of my favorite food. That is banana curry with zucchini noodles. That is so delicious. I have that in. I have one version in my English ebook, The Spice of Life, of a banana curry, and I also have another version of that. So I have two versions. I actually have more versions of it, but I have another versions of it in my Swedish book, paper book, Nordisk Raw Food. So that is like a banana curry sauce that is so delicious. It sounds weird to combine bananas in salad, but it's just so delicious. And in Sweden, we are more used to have bananas in savory recipes. On pizza, for example, we love to put bananas on pizza, and that sounds really weird. If you go to if you other countries, they are just what? Stupid Swedish put bananas on pizza.
Yeah.
But we like to do it, and pizzerias does it, and then we put curry powder on it. So I have a recipe of raw vegan pizza also with bananas and curry powder that you put in the dehydrator also. So the bananas is kind of a little bit baked, not baked, but that is really really delicious.
So what are some of the books you've got available? Would you like to speak about some of them?
Yes. So all my books is on my payhip.com/RawVegan.se. So I have 6 ebooks, and the latest book I made was about Indian food. I have never been in India, but I have always been so interested in Indian food. I was lots in England actually, and they have really good restaurant there. I have learned a lot. And one of my biggest interests is actually spices and herbs and flavors, and combine different flavors to get a total new flavor. I made all the classic food that you eat cooked. I made them in a raw vegan versions, like different tikka masalas and kofta and so much fantastic Indian raw food, and also the bread, naan bread and papadam and so on. And and then I actually was in Italy last year. So so that inspired me a little bit to make Italian food also. So I have an Italian food ebook also, together with Chef Ocean. We will start together. And yeah, that ebook is also without any tools and like electricity, because we didn't have that when we create the recipe book. So you can make raw food without electricity, without like blender, food processor, and dehydrators. So that book is actually without all of this stuff. And then I was in Mexico last year. And no, it was like this year. Yeah, this year, in the beginning of this year, I was in Mexico. So I got so inspired to make Mexican food. I love Mexican food, like tacos and mole and yeah, and different stuff. So I got like inspired from everywhere. I am very interested in food from different countries and food cultures, and I try to keep them in my recipes, so you get the traditional flavor, but you get it in a raw vegan way.
Excellent.
And yeah.
And what would you say are some of the best tips for people that are starting off on this path?
If you started this, if you want to start to eat raw food, I think it's a good tip to go to the store and pick some ripe fruit. You should never eat unripe fruit. Start with eating ripe fruit and eat more of it, and choose your favorite. Try new fruit and vegetables, so you get a huge variety, and then also try new recipes, and don't complicate things too much. I love to make simple recipes. I also love to make advanced recipes. You find really simple recipes in my ebooks and books also, and you can take them to another level and make them more advanced if you want, but it's not necessary. You have different choice. So yeah, so look for recipes is highly recommended, and also eat lots of fruit and make sure that you eat enough, because raw fruit have lots of volume in it, because it's like water, more water, and it's fiber, and also lots of air in
Yeah.
salad, for example. So it's important that you eat, yeah, a big volume. And salads, you can like massage them. That is a really good tip. Massage them with some kind of fat source and some type of acid source, like lemon or so. That makes it easier to digest, and it also makes it like, yeah, more delicious and nutritious. So you, yeah, try to make food as delicious as you can, and have fun with it, and yeah, and just choose your favorite, and
Yeah.
try different things. Don't be afraid to try different combinations and new recipes.
Do you use any supplements?
Supplements, you have to in order to know what your need for supplement is, you should make some kind of test. I do it. I do a test every year, a blood test, a blood analysis, and with that test, I can see if I need a supplement. And these times I have needed a supplement, I take it, and then I start to feel better, and then I'm fine. So I have, through the years, trying to create yeah, a diet where I don't need supplement. So I use like more. So if I compare my diet now to before, I eat more sprouts and I eat more greens, and I eat way more from the nature, because the food from nature have more nutrition in it. The food that grows wild, like berries and different greens and herbs and so on. So that has helped me a lot to keep this lifestyle without like munching myself with supplements. So in my recipes, I actually, yeah, I make sure my meals are very nutritional dense, and people actually can live with these recipes and be very healthy with these recipes without lots of deficiencies. But of course, deficiencies can come from something else, not the diet. Because if your gut flora is unbalanced, or if you eat lots of medicines, or if you stress a lot, sleep too little, all this kind of stuff is very like important to see your lifestyle and your health to start with. So yeah, I can't say that you should take that supplement just because you
No,
are raw vegan. You have to like see what your self need is.
I see. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And do you see when you look out and listen and hear things about the raw food diet or raw vegan diet and hear other people speaking and maybe look at conversations, do you see any what you see as common mistakes people make or maybe harmful or incorrect information that you see out there that you particularly disagree with?
Yeah, often I see that it seems like people are just following a specific diet, like medical medium or 80-10-10 or whatever is trendy right now. I see that as a mistake because you lose the ability to listen on yourself, and therefore you can actually lose lots of health just by doing that. And also the mistakes I see, it's hard to tell because social media don't tell you exactly the whole thing, what people eat and what they are doing and how their lifestyle is in general. But it seems like people tend to eat too much sweet fruit and not enough like non-sweet fruit and vegetables and sprouts and nuts and seeds yeah, because too much sweet fruit is kind of unbalancing, and you can get like cold. You can freeze a lot, and your blood sugar can be a little bit up and down, and you don't you don't get satisfied, and also sweet fruit doesn't have that high nutrition like non-sweet fruit and vegetables have. So it's yeah. So I think that going a little bit more balanced with that is is something I see that okay, it should be better to do that. But yeah, it's hard to tell.
Okay, yeah. Um, what are some of your plans for the future? Where do you see yourself going with this?
That is a huge question, but what I feel now, I don't feel like I need to do any changes. I really like the way I live now with this lifestyle and with raw food. I think that I have found a way of eating that is very good for the environment, for the animals, and for my health. And yeah, because I eat things that are in season, and I try to eat as much as possible with things that grows around me, and yeah, I feel like having a good balance between my fruit and vegetables, sprouts, nuts and seeds, and seaweeds and so on. So in future I will continue doing that, and I always come with new recipes ideas. So more books. I mean, yeah, people can't get enough recipes because it's always fun to try new things. So
Yeah,
I will really do more recipe books and so on.
excellent, excellent. And outside of diet, are there any other practices and things that you see are important for your overall health?
Yes, of course. I mean, diet is actually a very small part of health. I see uh, that the most important thing is that you are happy in life. You are happy with your relationship, with your job, and you're not too stressed. And also, it's really important to move your body and not sit still all the time. So I think that actually is more important than the diet. That is what I have noticed myself. If I have a perfect diet, but something of this kind of things is out of balance, I don't feel good. And also I can feel that my digestion is worse, and yeah, I tend to sleep not so much if I am stressed, for example. So yeah, other things in life, I think that is also actually we talked about mistakes people do, and that is actually a big mistake I think that people do, that they think that diet is like everything, and that is the most important thing. and they focus too much on diet and not enough on other things, and they tend to like think about food all the time. Life is not about food. Food is just something we need in order to get energy to do other stuff in life. So seeing food as a big thing of life is kind of a mistake actually, because you miss so much other things. And
Right.
yeah.
And do you think that it's important to develop a particular mindset to be successful on a healthy or raw food diet? Do you practice any mindset techniques or visualization or anything like that, and affirmations, or do you practice any meditation, anything like that?
Yes, I do, but it's not like I like to do meditation and so on, but it's not to in order to like keep my diet or so. It's more to relax my body and feel calm and feel more like grounded and so on. So yeah, I really like meditation. It's really powerful.
So if people would like to learn more from you, where can they follow and find you more?
I have an Instagram account, RawVegan.se, that you can follow. I upload stories every day and post some here and there. So so if you want to see more about what I eat and also I give lots of tips and tricks and so on with this lifestyle. You should follow me on Instagram and also my YouTube channel, RawVegan.se, where I give you even more. And also I give you like vlogs and so on when I travel. I love to travel. I'm really passionate about that. And so you should follow that. And if you are interested in recipes, I have my blog, RawVegan.se. It's in Swedish, but actually the measurement in the recipes is in English, so you can get like cups and so on, and then you can push the translate button and you can get the full recipe in English.
Yeah, just to read that out for those listening, it's Victoria's Instagram is at RawVegan.se, RawVegansa, RawVegan.se, so they can find that.
Yes.
And then any tips for those that might want to start doing Instagram or YouTube? What are some of your recommendations for people?
It's very hard actually, because the concurrence right now is much bigger when if I compare to when I start this. I could get like thousands of likes on Instagram, but now it's hard to get a few hundred. So that is kind of weird because I have more followers than I have from the beginning. But that is just because so many people are doing this right now. But I think that it's important to stand out if you want to start a YouTube or Instagram, because if you don't stand out, if you are like the other raw vegans out there or vegans, it's very hard to get more to get views and followers. You should have something that is really interesting and stand out and see what your strongest side is, and like having that in your profiles is very important. And I think I'm not an expert on this actually. If I was an expert, my channels would be so much bigger because I I have that many years. But yeah, that is marketing and knowing all this computer stuff. That is my like bad side actually.
Ah. Well, you've done
So
really well though. I mean, you've done really way better than a lot of others.
oh, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I am like the person like I create stuff and
Okay.
then I'm not so good at like
Yeah, I think
marketing them and so on. But I
yeah.
try to do my best, and I have learned lots of things through the years also, of course. So standing out is really important, and also I think it's kind of important to to have different times that you upload things.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
How have you found raw vegan lifestyle with friends and family in your social life?
I think it works really good. I don't care so much about what other people think and so on. That is something I have learned through the years when I have like modeling and my jobs that have been kind of hard. So so I have learned to like stand on myself, and yeah, so it's not a problem for me to eat something else if people around me want to eat meat, for example. Is more a problem for them because they are like, oh, what should you eat? And I'm just like, okay, fine, I eat something else, and it's not so complicated. It's just easy.
Yeah.
And my family, I did actually lots of caterings for many years ago, and the leftover I gave to them. So they got kind of inspired, and they have like, yeah, eating this kind of food, raw food, for many years now, actually, just because I started this. They got kind of inspired because they saw my success with this diet. But they are not fully raw vegan, but they are vegan. They eat vegan food,
Nice.
so that's fantastic. But they eat lots of raw food, and yeah.
And have you managed to inspire anyone to change their diet? Do you know people that have made changes because of you?
Yes, I hope so. But if I see my comments, it seems like I have inspired lots of people, and
Yeah.
especially here in Sweden with my paper books, I really got good comments, and people make my recipes, and so on. So yeah, that's fantastic.
Great. Well, it's been great to chat to you today, Victoria. What would be your sort of, if we to finish off, do you have any particular words of advice or encouragement you'd like to finish with?
If I have some advice to finish with, you said,
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah.
it.
Um, I don't know. I think that I have got the whole kind of picture. So of it, my advice, like following yourself, and have a goal, and have a health goal. Where do you want to be on your health scale? And try to see what you need in order to get at your best. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And for those of you that want to follow Victoria, you can go to RawVegan.se, Raw Vegans on Instagram and YouTube, and find more of her books online as well. And
Yes.
so thank you everyone for watching and listening. If you want to learn more about the raw vegan diet, consider coming along to the UK Fruit Fest, fruitfest.co.uk. You can join our mailing list and you can find out more about the event. And you can also learn more about our weekly Fruity Fridays group on a Friday night, fruitfest.co.uk, and you'll find out more information about that. Please feel free to share this on to anyone else. Give us a like or a share. Subscribe to the channel or the podcast. And we'll see you in another episode of the Love Fruit podcast. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Victoria.